The Luttsy and Susie Snackbox.
Congrats to everyone who did the marathon over the weekend. The half marathon, I think, was on the Saturday. Well, it was on Saturday. And then Sunday, yesterday, the full marathon. 10K as well.
Yeah, pretty huge. Big results. But and, of course, that leads into the Bridge to Brisbane, which we're right behind. Now, that's coming up on the 8th of September. Mm-hmm. So that gives you plenty of time if you're planning ahead to... to train, obviously.
I'm thinking of doing it. I've
what do you
never,
mean thinking?
Well, I've never been a long distance runner.
Can we just pressure you into it now?
I don't know.
Say it.
You've got enough time.
It's
is the
only
point.
it's 10K. The actual look.
Yeah,
there
yeah,
is
yeah.
a 5K option.
See, here's the thing, right? Before my holiday, sorry, Luttsy, I know we've got to get to what you were talking about.
No, you're right.
I was like, I'm definitely doing the Bridge to Brisbane, right? And then I went on my holiday to Mooloolaba, and I go, you know what? I'm feeling inspired. I'm going to go for a run. And it wasn't my lungs that gave up; it was my legs.
Yeah.
So I'm in the gym now. I'm in the gym trying to get my legs strong.
But we heard Timmy on the show a couple of weeks ago just saying I just got out there and I just went for a run.
Well, he inspired me to do it.
that?
He actually inspired me to do it.
Great crowd for his finish too, which was fantastic when he finished in Brisbane, running around the world.
Which was great. But I should say general entries are now open for the Bridge to Brisbane, so you can get involved in that. And there is enough time for 10K. What's that, 6 weeks or something away?
Yeah.
So there's enough time to actually put in a bit of a training block.
No,
that's what I'm going to do the 10K if I do it.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm going to
do the Bridge to Brisbane this year.
Yeah, good man.
Okay, and
he's locked in.
Take some inspiration. Now there was a world record set overnight at the Paris Diamond League, which is the big athletics meet in the lead up to the Olympics, obviously, which is now only a matter of days away.
It's not long.
I think I leave Friday week. It's only a couple of weeks.
Less than 3 weeks, right?
25th, 26th. Yeah.
So the reigning Olympic and world champion over the 1500 metres for women is Faith Kipyegon, and she set a new world record overnight, 3:49.04. So 3 minutes 49.
For 1,500.
For 1,500 metres.
Oh my God!
So that's a new world record.
I don't reckon I could sprint. I don't reckon I could sprint as fast as what she must have had to have run for the entire 1.5K.
But the big news for us is the girl that came second is Jessica Hull, the Australian.
Wow.
She's run overnight 3:50.83. That's taken over 5 seconds off her own Australian and Oceania record. She's run a 5-second personal best in the 1,500 metres. She's now that's the 5th fastest time in history.
Wow.
This is almost... Oh, geez, I don't know. I'm hoping some of my athletics friends out there will chime in. For women's middle distance in this country, I don't think it's ever happened. Like, this is the biggest thing ever.
I can't
This has
think
put
of...
her in the frame to win a medal, potentially gold medal, in Paris in the women's 1,500 metres.
It sucks that if she's the 5th fastest in history, that one of the people who,
is ahead of her.
Yeah, is actually still running.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But only a second off. I mean, that's
And you
Jessica
just
Hull.
need everything to line up for an Olympics, right? Like something could,
Yeah, exactly.
Body's you're in the right frame of mind on the day.
Obviously, she's supremely fit and ready to go. So all you need is the right combination of factors in a middle distance race at the Olympics. They don't usually break world records at the Olympics. But
what about in the lead up?
She's in the frame.
Like world records in the lead up for athletics would be just unheard of.
No, not a week, 2 weeks after the Olympics.
It's not like swimming.
Speaking of world
exactly. You've got to put a different
totally
look on it
different.
to swimming.
Totally different.
This is massive.
Just speaking of world records real quick, Luke was telling me my brother, he was handing out lollies during the marathon yesterday as people came past, and there was a guy running, he was attempting to break the world record for the fastest marathon ever run in a dinosaur suit. I haven't heard whether or not he got it or not, but I hope he did.
Well, can you confirm that before the end of the show?
The Luttsy and Susie Snackbox.
So, Buzz, you just mentioned you went up to, was it Mooloolaba?
Mooloolaba, yeah, with the family. First week of our 2-week holiday.
Sunny Coast goes all right, doesn't it?
Beautiful. And the weather there was absolutely stunning.
You picked the right week. The second week was pretty average.
Yeah, it was sunny every single day we were there.
Yeah, wow.
But I did something that... We spoke with Lockie Neal before we went on break, and he said this thing, and he kind of said it without thinking. He just goes, we had the bye week, and I went up to blah, 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 and had 2 days where I didn't turn my phone on.
Up to the mountains, I think.
That's
the mountains,
right.
yeah.
You did too.
And I was like, oh, God, could you imagine doing that? So I thought I'd go one better, and I turned my phone off for an entire week. So the Saturday that we got up to Mooloolaba, I turned my phone off, just sat it on the bedside table in the apartment that we're at.
Phone off.
Phone off completely, and I didn't turn it on until we got home on the Sunday.
You didn't turn it on once, like
No.
were you tempted?
Yeah, I'm not even joking when I say that I was shaking at points in the first couple of days of not having a phone. And I found out how much you actually need your phone for stuff that's just not social media, because that was the aim. The aim was to spend more time with my kids, because I noticed that when I'm hanging out with them, I'm just flicking through Instagram, I'm on YouTube or doing whatever. But I pay on my phone, so I have all my cards on my phone.
I wouldn't even know where a card is to pay now. I don't go out. I just take keys and a phone.
So I was like stressing. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for a walk along the Esplanade and find like a Thai massage joint, get a 20-minute neck and shoulders, which everyone knows I love doing. I went down there and went to pay. Didn't have my phone with me, so I had to go all the way back to the apartment and get like a card from Bronte.
I'm sure they trusted you.
I don't know if they did, but I went back and I was like, yeah.
After the massage, you went back.
Yep. You can imagine, right? How awkward that is.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
You run away.
But I found myself...
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do what you're suggesting.
But hang on. So when you turned your phone off, you weren't able to take phone calls?
Nothing.
You couldn't take photos of the kids either.
Nope.
No photos. I think my most used website is the Bureau, because I like the weather. How did you know what the weather was going to do
You
tomorrow?
look out the window, Kendall, and you go...
That's your major concern.
I know.
And then Bronte
Mine's
went...
Uber and Uber Eats.
Yeah. Luttsy would have starved to death.
I would have starved to death.
Extremely lonely. Who was going to hang out
I
with
can't
Luttsy?
go anywhere or eat.
He couldn't contact people to come hang out with him.
But even like Bronte went to the shops, and she's, you go out grocery shopping and you text your partner going, hey, do we need this, or do you want this, or whatever. Didn't have my phone on me. She came back raging. She's like, I tried to text you. I was like, my phone's not on.
I couldn't do it.
Did you break?
No.
So you went, what's that, 7 days, 8 days?
It was during Origin as well. I was like, the only minor break I had was I got Bronte to text my best mate, who's you guys met at the Origin when we went to Sydney, just to say how good was that win. That's the only. So I got my wife to text him.
Buzz says to say, how good was that win?
Well, I said it in a different language, but it was that's the only time I kind of got in contact. And to be honest with you, I think this shows how much I use my phone and other people. Bronte had multiple of my friends get in contact with her. My best mate Elliot texted her going, hey, is
he all right?
Is Buzz okay? I've texted him a few times and he hasn't responded, and that's unlike him.
You'd be pretty annoyed if no one did that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I know.
How many messages did you have when you finally turned your phone back on?
Well, I turned my phone on and I didn't have any messages. No, I didn't have any. And I was actually a bit cut. I was like, I don't have any messages. But then when I turned my Mac on, so that's also a tap, I had all of everything.
They've gone through to
Yeah.
And did you have any physical benefits or mental benefits from it?
I feel, I haven't downloaded any, so I don't have Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook yet.
So you're using it less since you've come back.
Yeah, even now I don't need it. Like even during songs and stuff, I'm just usually aimlessly flicking through socials.
There's a big tilt towards getting a dumb phone instead of a smartphone, so that you're not using the social media stuff. And it is pretty depressing. My kids, if I'm at home, they'll often pick up my phone. Like Moses is 20 months old and he'll bring it to me, and I just think oh buddy,
they can navigate.
He's
as
like,
well.
oh, you are sitting there and you don't have your phone on you.
This is your life support?
Yeah, this is.
Yeah.
I actually did go
wow.
tech-free once for 3 days for Food Bank, just like I was doing a fundraiser for Bridge to Brisbane, actually, and I was like, I'm going to go tech-free, so no laptop, no phone, no, nothing. And I remember, I was still living life and going to work. Work couldn't contact me outside of hours, but I couldn't use a GPS. If I had to go somewhere, I had to get a Refidex out beforehand and actually be like, okay, so where am I
Well,
going?
my 20s.
The Luttsy and Susie Snackbox.
I was just saying to everyone off air, God, that 3:30 alarm clock.
After a couple of weeks of sleep-ins.
So good. We're back from holidays. I didn't go.
What did you do?
Well, I had Archie's Footy Carnival on for kind of the first week. That was on the Gold Coast. So
good they streamed that, by the way. I actually watched a couple of games in Queenstown.
yeah.
Luttsy living a riveting life, watching under 12s play
Sitting in an Irish pub in New
Queenstown.
Zealand watching primary school kids play rugby league.
Yeah. Well, I actually completely
his kid was
loved it
playing.
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. But also you're getting to see a lot of those kids will go on as well. So I love that stuff. So did that for the first week, and then what did I do? I went up to Harvey Bay.
You went to 1770
And then I went to 1770.
Oh, that photo.
Oh, what about
Did you see
that?
that photo?
Is this the half fish?
Yeah.
That was this trip.
Yeah. the sharks up there.
Do you see the shark eating? The photo was, if you follow Ash, you would have seen it. It was
Yeah.
like, what was that, a red emperor?
Red emperor.
Huge red emperor. Just
the head.
chomped.
Yeah.
Just the head, what was left.
Yeah.
But you can see the curvature of how big that shark must have been to eat it.
Yeah.
Did you see the shark, or is that just underwater still?
I didn't see that shark. No,
You saw
because
baby
I was
shark.
fishing in about 50 metres of water. Well, I was in about 50 metres of water, and they're a bottom-dwelling fish, the red emperor, and that's like the trophy fish. That's like the best fish that you can get.
Did you get another
Good eating?
one?
No, that was all.
That was it?
That was it.
The
They're the best
fish.
eating, Luttsy.
Just as what, like, just fish?
As a
not
table
like
fish, like
yeah, right.
red emperor and coral trout are like your two top fish. Now, if you catch there's another fish that I caught up there called a red bass.
I thought you did.
Okay.
You know, the red one I saw that you did get.
A huge red
I
bass.
don't know much about fishing.
Yeah.
But
There was
Luttsy,
some
this
red ones.
is
You're
how
trying, though.
this is how smart the sharks are up there. Okay, a huge red bass. You can't eat it. It's got cicatera.
Oh, gross.
So when you catch one of them,
Terror.
the sharks just let it go.
It's a little town in Italy.
the sharks let it go.
Yep.
What, do they,
and if
they
it's-
get a taste, you reckon, or
What, do
they
they
just...
think it's the sushi room? And they're like, well, this fish is
Yeah.
worth
Oh, there's a lot of-
$400
this
a
doesn't quite,
slice.
that one oyster you have doesn't feel quite right,
Yeah,
you know?
if you catch if you catch a bad eating fish,
Yeah.
the sharks will just let it go, and if you catch a good fish, the sharks are onto it as quick as possible.
They know.
And that red emperor that I caught, like that's a prize fish. And you also know with a red emperor, you know, like the second it hits, it goes like bump, 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 bump. You know, oh, this is a red emperor, and you've got to try and get it up as quick as you can.
Not quick enough.
So,
They just come and smash it.
would you-
They're prolific up there, and I don't care what anyone says. What?
is it easier for the sharks to catch it once it's on your hook? Because they're still swimming. So I'm saying, are the sharks waiting and then...
Well, sharks wouldn't go down as low as they're living, right?
So
if
they're
it's
getting
a
on-
bottom dweller. It's like, oh, here comes lunch.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
coming
on
up,
the
right?
way up.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that will say that the sharks up there, they are so attuned now that when they hear the sound of a boat's motor, they'll go,
It's feeding time.
this guy's going to be fishing, and I'll just loiter around down underneath it here, and as it catches fish, they're coming up. I think that's what's happening.
If you were the Red Emperor, would you, at that point when you're hooked, thinking, okay, there's two options here. I'm either on the Bradnams table tonight by
yes.
7 p.m.
Well,
or a great white shark's going to come and rip me in half in about 8. Oh!
The Ash, Luttsy and Susie Snackbox.
Did any of you watch the presidential debates while we were
Not
on?
live.
No, only the highlights.
Yeah.
I mean, as a result of that, people are now suggesting that Joe Biden needs to step down
Yep.
for re-election.
That's an understatement.
I couldn't believe how poorly he performed, and that, you know what? And it's not like he's been. This isn't an endorsement of Trump in any way. It's just a reflection of the fact that Biden came off so bad.
So bad.
In that, like he's not with it.
But the problem, this has been going on for a while, right? Like he's been at press conferences and they'll ask him stuff and he just kind of mutters or he pauses and he stops talking. And so I feel like the writing's been on the wall, but putting him in a live scenario next to Trump. And remember, these two are only a couple years apart, right? So it's not...
What is the age
80
gap? It's 70.
3 years.
81
3
to
years.
78, I think it is.
Yeah. So Trump's not a spring chicken in comparison.
It's almost 80.
But it's like there was a 10, 20-year age gap between the two of them in just how sharp Trump came across, which, like, to be honest, is impressive in itself.
Biden's lost his voice.
Yeah.
Like he's lost all of the timber in his voice. He's now got the old man voice.
Even
He's-
his skin on his face and stuff has just slipped down in the last...
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what being president of America would do.
Did you see how much it?
And that's the stuff we can see.
Yeah, it aged. It aged Barack. Like
Well, yeah,
they
he
always
went-
show that
I know.
the thing that aged Barack, but
8
his
years.
voice is just gone. He gets that thing now, that old person
Quiver.
thing. Yeah,
Like
it's-
Susie singing.
Yeah, yes, it's like a dog in pain, or it's like he goes like
Yeah.
The worst
when
part...
he's have a listen to this. This is
child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Hang on.
Look,
It makes you feel so sorry for him, which, like, we shouldn't be feeling sorry for the president of the most powerful country in the world.
But how's he been doing his job for so long? Like
Other
I'd say
people, I
other people are
suppose.
doing
it must
But
be.
if you know anything about the responsibility of that job, he literally has the nuke codes to, like, you know, to something really serious. There's a 6-minute window where, like, if they knew some attack was coming, there is a person that walks around with a briefcase behind him, and he is the only person in all of America with the code that can access them. And you kind of watch that debate and just go, wow, the world's pretty screwed.
Well, it's not because
Safe,
he'll forget.
pretty safe.
If he remembers
I mean, America will get blown up with no defenses.
Biden, there's a bomb coming.
look,
Oh my God! It's politics
Also-
aside, it's kind of absurd.
One of the other things that was completely absurd about it, Lockie made the observation just earlier, is that I thought Trump was like pretty restrained. Like at the end of what Joe was talking about there, it came back to Trump, and at one stage
Have we got that audio?
No, we haven't.
Okay.
But he just goes, look, I don't know what he just said. He goes, I don't even think he knows what he said. But he wasn't that passionate.
He's not
about
doubling
it.
No.
down on him.
He was very restrained, which I think was strategy, because they know he can be a bit of a loose unit, and they thought if you restrain yourself, you're going to come off a winner no matter what happens.
Yeah.
But
Do you reckon if he goes him, people start saying, "Oh, poor Biden," because he's getting hammered
Well,
by
maybe.
Trump?
Yeah,
Like,
then he
so
might
you
have
think-
been like a bully.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
you know.
And it's like, the thing in America, it's not compulsory to vote. So, like, they need to rally people to actually get out of their house and head to the polls on election day. What blows my mind is at 81, who wants to sign up to be the president?
Yeah, why would you want to do what he's doing? Do you reckon he does, or do you reckon he's being forced?
I don't know. But also, like, Americans are very patriotic. They really have that belief about, like, what's best for the country. I will sacrifice. And he doesn't seem to have that right now. He's not sacrificing himself.
Before we move on, here's Trump's response to
Yeah,
Biden.
Americans all love golf, and these two apparently love the.
Oh.
Well, this
golf.
is his Trump's response to what we just heard with
Oh,
Biden.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death.
Yeah, well, you're right. That was one of the funniest parts of it, is that Trump couldn't hold his restraint. He couldn't be cool. And the most passionate either of them was when they were fighting about golf.
That I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way, and I do it.
I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie that he's a 6 handicap of all.
I was at 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8.
Never.
But I have, how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing. Let's not act like children.
President Trump, we're going to
21
Let's
rounds.
not act like children.
By the way, Biden's
so
talking
rich.
about
Carrying his bag.
colostomy bag.
The Ash, Luttsy and Susie Snackbox.
Okay, this is so me this morning driving up from the Gold Coast, Kendall. I got the radio on. It was the ABC 4 a.m. news, and I went, did I just hear what I think I heard? I just went back and checked, and yes, it's true. This was on the news.
Disability advocates say a decision to ban sex work being funded through the National Disability Insurance Scheme will mean the government will decide whether people with a disability can have sex. NDIS Minister Bill Shorten says he intends to implement the ban. Specialised sex services have been available through the NDIS since 2020.
What?
Yeah, I was aware
Exactly
of that,
what I
actually.
did.
Yeah.
You were aware of it.
Yeah, I was.
How?
I don't know. I
Well,
just
he's been
somehow
looking-
became
Yeah.
aware
Limp
that
that
He's got a bad hip, and
sex workers can get
it's-
considerable money. I think it was, in my mind, I'm talking like $400 an hour, or something like that.
Well, I wouldn't know if that's good pay, but
It's very good pay.
Well, in any,
But-
any way you look at it, that's pretty good pay.
Yes.
But so under
'Cause
what
I think it was a 2-hour limit.
situation would that be considered a disability sort of issue that needs to be solved and funded? Please, 3 gentlemen, enlighten me.
Well, I mean, it's something that you may not otherwise be able to achieve.
Yeah, okay,
with a
fair. Maybe
disability,
you can't
so-
leave the house. Okay.
Welcome to me
that's-
between the ages of 18 and 23, though.
Yeah, but there's nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing. Yeah, you had no sort of known disabilities at that time, other than you just weren't very attractive to women.
Yeah.
But that's the problem is that it's become so.
But is that what they're saying?
Wide,
That these-
wide spanning that they're saying, hang on a second, there's
People are
taking
rorting it.
advantage of it and rorting it.
Yes.
'Cause I'm all up for it if you're bedridden or something like that, or
Yeah.
have certain disabilities, and that's in your and you can't find a sexual partner. Well, why not?
Well, look. In all honesty, I'm up for that too. Like, if you can't,
Yes.
there's absolutely no other way that you can
Yes,
do it.
yes.
But you're saying, well, what they're saying is people are going out there and rorting the system.
Hang on a sec.
Yeah. hey,
I thought it was just like ramps and handles being installed in houses that was the rort, like, the
No,
building
it's-
sector.
it's-
It's widespread.
Yeah, that's far less
This is what
interesting
I'm
than this
saying.
one, though, isn't it? And it's happening. So I don't know what. So what are they doing? They're going to shut it down.
Well, they're going to ban it. And it's in the paper this morning as well. It says that Bill Shorten was on the TV and he said, while most NDIS participants were doing the right thing, he conceded the rules have been a bit loose at the margins.
Oh, come on, Bill. Come on, Bill.
He said, part of me sort of groans
Which part?
whenever
Stop. You're
I got-
making this up.
No, it's
quoting
in
it.
there.
Stop it.
Grows or groans?
groans.
Both.
Part of me sort of groans whenever I've got to go through some of the rubbish that people have claimed.
Biden'd be all over this, wouldn't he?
What is he going through the receipts? Bill Shorten personally gets everyone's receipts.
People with disabilities are currently able to access government-funded sexual support services. Strict eligibility requirements apply.
What does Biden have to say about it?
Look,
The Luttsy and Susie Snackbox.